Richard Reese, CEO and Commissioner of Customs. The Customs Amendment Act 2014 provided for the implementation of a standardized policy in terms of the application of rates of exchange for goods that are imported. International best practice requires that all importers or persons engaged in suspension regimes should be treated equally. And to that end, we sought to ensure that we had this standard regime. What obtains previously is that persons who operated private bonded warehouses and entered goods into that warehouse would pay the duties calculated at the rate of the warehouse. The change requires that the rate of exchange that prevails when the goods are being removed from the warehouse is what would be applied. We also recognize that persons engaged in the operation of private bonded warehouses utilize a forward rate, and this is a factor that they would determine in relation to any changes in fluctuation of the dollar. It must be borne in mind that should the dollar revalue, they of course would make a gain. But for all importers, the date of report of the vessel is the date which is used to calculate the duties. And with the implementation of Untitled World, once your entry is lodged and the payment made, then the system will automatically calculate the rate of duty. In the transition phase, arrangements have been made to ensure that the legacy system which we operate and Untitled World which is being implemented have both been adjusted to provide for the proper calculation. The rate at the time when you are making that purchase, and this has been the practice of automobile dealers even prior to this change. So the consumer will have to pay the rate of exchange applicable at the time when the vehicle is purchased, and this was always the case prior to this change. What the dealer would not benefit from would be the difference in rate of exchange at the time when the goods were entered in the warehouse and the time when the vehicle was sold. So they would, of course, not make that spread which they would have normally made. But in selling the vehicle, they use the current rate of exchange, and they also put in a factor to compensate for fluctuation. Each dealer determines their what is called a forward rate, and that varies from dealer to dealer, and that is set by them. In terms of the rate of duty that would have been applicable when the goods are entered under the previous system, that change in foreign exchange rate and the amounts that would have accrued, naturally they would have been affected in that they would not have benefited from that additional foreign exchange gain. I'd also add that the Jamaica Customs Agency has been in dialogue with the Automobile Dealers Association and the Jamaica Used Car Dealers Association, and they have put forward proposals which are part of what will be considered under the Customs Amendment 2015. They would then, those matters will of course be dealt with by the Joint Select Committee of Parliament, which has been established. Yes, well, as of midnight, all private bonded warehouses, for all private bonded warehouses, the rate of exchange applicable will be when they are doing their entry and removing the goods from their warehouse. And in terms of goods that are imported into the island and are not in private bonded warehouses, the normal computations in terms of rate of exchange will apply. Customs uses the Bank of Jamaica weighted average rates. Jamaica Customs Agency will be issuing a public notice and press release, and in addition, anyone wishing to obtain further information or clarification can contact their customs broker, their licensed customs broker, or they can email Jamaica Customs at quick.response@jacustoms.gov.jm.